Hello, gamers, and welcome to ZGC. My name is Zirillius, and today we're playing Evolution 2 Battle for Utopia, going over talents. We're going to go over each one individually. I'll give you my honest opinions on them, whether you should invest in them, whether you shouldn't, which ones are the best, depending on no matter where you're at in the game, whether you're brand new to the game, whether you're at the end game like myself, or somewhere in between, I will give you my recommendations on what talents you should be investing in and going all over how good each and every single one of them are. I do plan on sometime in the future for some of these talents to make videos on them and show their effects and you stay tuned so you don't miss out on those and see if that is something you really want to add to your gameplay or something you can just let lie. And so you don't miss out on those future videos. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with that notification bell, that way you don't miss an upload going up on the channel. And again, you can always follow me on social media. Links will be down there in description. There's hot debates over these talents right now going on in the Discord, and I absolutely love it. My honest opinion is that all of them are good. Some are definitely better than others, but no matter where you're at in the game, every single one of these talents will help you in some way, shape, or form. Alright, so this video is gonna turn out to be quite long because I don't know exactly what I'm going to say in the other part of the video, and I don't know how long that is because I am going to be in game live and tapping on each one of these talents and reading off what they do and then giving my opinions on them. And I don't know how long that's going to take, so grab some popcorn, get yourself comfortable, strap yourself in, and I will add timestamps, the little chapters. If you see little bars on the time thing of the video, you can just use those to skip directly to what talents affect you the most, whether it be the special, economic, or tactical trees, which is how I'll divide them up, along with everything you need to know to get all of these talents maxed out, what you need, all that good stuff. We're going to go over it all here. This is just the basics of what you need to get these talents and start improving your gameplay. And then some honest thoughts and opinions of what you should be investing in and what you can let be. So you get 1 talent point for every 12 level of the abilities, the stuff you use mastery points for. There are 9 abilities with a max level of 150, which gives you 1,350 total levels. Divide that by 12, you can get a total of 112.5 talent points. I know, weird number, right? But to actually invest in these skills, you'll need 600 gems to max out one skill and then 3 talent points to max out that skill, meaning you would need 3,600 gems and 18 talent points to max out a full tree. Total, you would need 10.8k gems to max out everything, along with 54 talent points. So remember how we said you get 112? That just leads me to believe that there will be more talents to come in the future, or talent expansions, or a combination of both. So definitely take these recommendations to heart. Get what you want, get what will help you. And with that said, you just can't pick and choose which talents you want. Like on this particular tree, let's say you want the 5th skill in this particular tree, you'd have to invest at least 1 star, 1 talent point into each previous skill. So you just can't go directly to the end of the tree and pick that talent, which was kind of hoping it would be the case, but they made it that way. So to get to that 5th skill, you'd have to have at least 500 gems and spend 400 on stuff that you don't want to get the thing that you do want. So that's just something else to keep in mind. It doesn't mean you have to max that talent out, all the previous talents out. It's just once that talent has 1 star in it, you can move on to the next. But let's go ahead and talk about these talents and what they actually do. All right. Now that you know everything it will take to max out one of these trees or just even max out a skill by itself and how to get to the skills that you actually want, we are going to go over each one of these skills and I'm going to talk about them for a little bit. I don't know how long this section is going to take. I honestly don't because I don't know what I'm going to end up saying on any of these, but I've been looking over these, like double and triple checking and trying to prioritize which talents I think people should prioritize. And this will all come down to where you're at in the game. Like somebody over on the Discord is a long time subscriber, long time member, and he has actually helped me out a lot throughout the making or the videos I make on this and everything, playing about some of the economic stuff. And yeah, I agree. We've been playing since day one, so I mean, like the drones, this right here, the silicon is nice, but the magnetite, like we're almost always capped on magnetite. I mean, let me show you my magnetite scores, but that's just because I just started making a bunch of crystallite. I was at like 2400, and next situation reset, I will be there because I only raid bases for magnetite, and biofuels. So, yeah, it's really easy to cap out on magnetite. So, I mean, if you're later on, I mean, the silicon is nice, especially if you're trying to max out all of your weapons, which I am currently trying to do. It's nice, but it's not necessary. The silicone, on the other hand, is a great addition because I don't make that. If I don't get it from like seasonal rewards or event rewards, I just don't get it. I don't buy it in shops or anything like that. I got so many chips that need upgrading and attention, and I should probably like go through all of my gear and rearrange some chips, but I mean, chips is not my focus. I want all of my stuff, all the gear that I'm going to use throughout the remainder of this game to be max level before I start thinking about chips and can just produce silicone versus the crystallite. So yeah. I mean, so this right here would be nice. I don't need the magnetite, but the silicone would be nice. And at 100% bonus, just five, so 10 silicone for each drone from any sources. So like, when it says any sources, like if you die and that little black skull shows up for you, you get silicone from that, which is like crazy to think about. We only get 6 drones. I was hoping that one in particular would actually give us like a drone expansion, give us some extra drones. But I mean, the extra resources, they're nice. But I mean, if you're an earlier player, I still did not want to start with this talent either. But like, if you're an earlier player, this is very very nice for you. I mean, if you're like week 1, month 1, something like that, the economic tree will help you out tremendously because you can't even farm or make silicone at that point, so it will just help you get these extra resources, and you should have a crap ton of it once you are able to make it and start using it and everything. So I mean, it's nuts. But let's get this back on track. Let's start with the tacticals, which is all of these are sword skills. They mostly add effects to Blake's Fury. We talked a little bit about that yesterday, but to charge Fury, you need to take damage, and it takes about 50% of your HP for one charge, and there's ways to mitigate that. I don't know if like damage mitigation chips will add to that effect or anything, but I did ask the devs a question if the damage on here is stackable, or if it's just like once you hit 3, that's just 50% base. And this was their response. So basically what they're saying is it's stackable. So this is 75% once you get this maxed out. And then every single one of these sword skills have increased sword damage on them. So that's stacking on that 75% on that first skill. Here's another 50% here. This is another 25%, and then 5% sword damage to all enemies. So that's another little or I guess you could call it 30% to the target or targets, because we got this, you got the AOE, but everybody else just receives 5% of your sword damage. So you want the sword damage as high as possible. And with all these percentage increases, like I don't know what the base power of the sword is, but I mean percentage base increases are just awesome, especially in a game like this where everything does have a number on it. Any kind of percentage increase is just awesome, and these are massive percentage increases. This is about the only sword talent that doesn't increase damage, but interesting. And because of what the dev said earlier, we can assume that the 1% and 3% will stack. So you'll have a 4% chance once this is maxed out just to instantly kill an enemy. Now, it doesn't work on bosses, and yes, that means elite. So you won't be able to take out a suppressor or a mechanic with one shot with your sword, sadly. But this skill also at tier 2 gives you an extra Fury charge. So if you go back and watch the video yesterday, you saw the little red sword gauge filling up, you'll get a second one of those. So that means you can actually hold on to that sword skill and start taking some more damage and everything, and you just have two of these going. And we'll talk more about how to use the sword a bit later on, but or maybe in another video, because like I said, I don't know how long this is going to be. But that Fury charge right there is like almost a must-have, because kind of like your side charges, it will allow you to store them and use them when you want. Because like right now, because I don't have that extra Fury charge, like as soon as it's charged, I feel like I have to use my sword skill. Because I have a big fear of missing out syndrome. I don't want to miss out on any type of Fury charge. So as soon as it's charged, I'm using it so I can start building up another charge. Once I have this, I will stop doing that because, we got that overflow. Now, this talent right here, the Stasis Blast, this is very, very interesting. So when an enemy is struck by a sword, it adds a 1-second stasis effect. Then you max this out at 3. It's a 2-second stasis effect. Again, assuming that these things stag based on what the dev said about the first talent. Wow, this is a 3-second stasis for using your sword. Then you come back to, was it this ability? No, it was this one right here, the wide sword swing, 5% damage to all enemies. So if the sword is hitting all enemies on screen, and this freezes them for 3 seconds, you can freeze everything on screen for 3 seconds. Like, I'm hoping that's how it works. Like, I have to get these talents maxed out and everything, and I will here in very, very near future. But like, that's just nuts. It's a free stasis grenade. It's a free mini stasis grenade, which is just ridiculous for using your sword. And then you can store up to 3 of these. Yes, I said 3 because as we look at this last talent, there is another Fury charge right there on tier 2. So you can have 3 charges of the sword, and this actually gives you the ability to gain Fury after killing an enemy. Yeah, it's only 2%, but you're taking damage, you're killing enemies. That Fury gauge is going to build up pretty quickly because, like I said, it takes a while to build up. Even like purposely taking damage like I have been, which I'm kind of taper off of because I've been going through more medkits than I have in like the past, I don't know, 2 or 3 months right now. But yeah, like just killing enemies. Somebody brought this up on the comment on the video yesterday, and I was trying to disprove them, and because I thought this was just regulated to sword kills. No, this just says 2% Fury after killing an enemy. Doesn't matter how you kill the enemy. You can shoot him, you can snipe him, you can throw a grenade at him, you can have your partner kill him. As long as you're killing enemies, you're gaining Fury, which is absolutely awesome. And then with 3 charges of that, you're going to want to kill as much stuff as possible And this will also allow you to take a lot less damage. You don't have to drain your HP bar down to 50% anymore to get your sword charged up. And of course, we got another 25% damage boost, and I have totally forgot to add up all the damage boosts we get for this. So that's 50 right there. There was nothing on that. 75, 125 plus the 75% on the, so 200% sword damage, whatever that base power of the sword is. And like I said, it's almost strong enough to like take out like a trooper or something at base value. So like you'll be able to do some major damage once you have all the percentage upgrades and everything with this sword. And yeah, it may take some players a little while to get all this maxed out, but for now, especially if you're newer, just get this, just have that ability to do the extra damage, and you should focus on other stuff. For middle game to end game players, yeah, get this sort of stuff maxed out as soon as possible, because max level is 100. Every time you level up, enemies' HP go up, they get a little bit stronger, they take a little bit more hits. So, I mean, any way that you can deal more damage is awesome, and this sword does it in spades. You know what I'm saying? So, definitely at least get 1 star in all of these talents. The Fury Charge skills, for sure. I mean, the Berserker talent, definitely get this 1 to 2. This 1 to 2, and I would try to get this to 3 as well. Like just freezing enemies even for a second is amazing. Like the chips, the special chips for the machine guns that freeze enemies for 2 seconds. That is so valuable. I love it when that procs. Especially when a big old spider dominion is coming at me and is just about to hit me, and I have no rolls left because I'm sitting there dodging grenades because I forgot to kill C500s, and they're just got their heads popped off and launching grenades at me. That's invaluable freezing that right. Okay, I don't have to worry about you. I can go kill you over here real quick and then come back and focus on the arachnid. So I mean, anything that you can do to freeze enemies is amazing. So yeah, definitely get this maxed out. Get the Fury Charge from this, and get the Fury Charge from this. And then for the rest of the skills, most of the extra damage stuff is on the tier 2. So just get all these to tier 2 so your sword is doing a little bit of damage. And like I said, this is for middle to end gamers. If you're earlier on, there's other talents that you should be focused on, in my opinion. So let's go down to the special stuff. So talent, snapshot, 10%, 20%, 25% damage from a rifle shot. And in the description it says quick shot from rifle. So maybe just like snap fire on it, quick scoping it as the term is, something like I do with my Matryoshka. I don't even try aiming with that thing anymore. I just fire. I know the next shot's going to be stronger. So, using an ability like this and just making that damage stack, like Matryoshka sniper already stacks on damage. This is probably the best sniper rifle to go with this skill. So if you're using Matryoshka sniper, like this is absolutely amazing, an amazing talent for you. Because that's what, a 45-55% increase in damage just for sniper shoot and hit something, and then I got the ricochet on it too. Like, oh my gosh, I'd be wasting enemies like towards the end of the stuff. They get so many multi kills from the ricochet chip off my Matryoshka sniper rifle. It's ridiculous, and this is just gonna help make sure that continues. But again, for new players, like some of these special talents, I wouldn't worry too much about. Like, you can definitely do without this one. You're still building up your inventory of weapons and everything. But middle to end gamers, especially if you have Matryoshka sniper, get this. Just get it. Talent, weak spot, destroying any type of bomber causes an explosion in a graded radius and damage. So you know how they added not too long ago, when you kill a bomber, it does AOE damage, and if it kills another enemy, you get some cutting metals, which is crazy, but it's not very effective. And I hate that this says bombers because I wish it would happen with the thermites as well. Maybe it will. I don't know. I don't have the skill yet, but I wish the thermite, the Dominion little bomb things, AOE was a bit stronger because I love just draining their HP. I do my best not to snipe those, especially as Dominion are coming out, because the Dominion will just walk right into that explosion and take major damage from those. So I really wish this would apply, but when it comes to the bombers, yeah, it's cool, but the enemies have to be really, really, really close. So this is 100% total. And again, this is assuming, based off what the dev said with the sword skills, that everything stacks. This is 100% increase in the radius and in the damage. And it's already strong enough to take out like surrounding spiders and everything, and nice, a good little chunk off of like cultists and stuff. But like 100% increase in damage and radius, that's amazing. Do you need it? No. No, I would just put 1 star in this and move on to the next skill. Because this is something you will use a lot more often. So grenade blast, kind of similar to the weak point on the bombers, 50% or 100% increase in damage and radius. Damages outside standard blast radius. Like I don't know what that outside blast radius looks like. Again, I don't have the skill, but I mean, just the fact that you can do 100% bonus damage of your grenades AOE, initial AOE is ridiculous. Because I know sometimes I throw that grenade, there's a nice little group of 3 enemies right there, and then one of them takes off, and the other one takes off last second, and just barely at the last second gets outside of the range of that grenade. Like, with this, that's not going to be an issue. We're going to catch both of them, or both the guys that are running, trying to spread out before that grenade hits. And this is just amazing. Like, if you like using grenades, this is a must-have. So next talent, Battle Rage. Blake's damage increases for the next 5 seconds after receiving a quick kill bonus. So you know how you get like serial killer, maniac, butcher. Those are kills in quick succession. This is what I think this is referring to, and this is a total of a 15% damage increase for 5 seconds. So every time it says after receiving a bonus for a quick kill, there's no cooldown on the bonus. So as long as you're killing enemies second after second after second after second, you're gonna have a constant 15% damage increase. And yeah, it won't apply to like size spiders or anything, because they don't count for anything. They're just there to annoy the crap out of you. But I mean, getting multi kills, getting the serial killer, the maniac, the butcher, all that stuff will help increase your damage. And I mean, you add this on top of the skins, on top of all the other talents that are in this. It just says damage. It doesn't relegate it to a specific weapon, a specific type of damage, or anything like this. This is just an overall 15% boost for 5 seconds. This is like picking up like a little mini booster, which I'm pretty sure this will stack that your allies can drop if you have the proper chip on them. So, I mean, just the amount of damage you can do with this skill, depending on your loadout, can be exponentially higher than whatever it is right now. So yeah, I highly recommend this for everybody. Everybody. More damage is good damage. The faster you can take out these enemies, the better. Because that means there's less fire coming at you, there's less stuff on the map to worry about, and you're farming quicker as well. So yeah, 3 out of 3 this, no matter where you are at in the game. All right, next one, Stasis Charge. Oh my gosh, this one. Whew. Oh man, almost had a heart attack when I saw what this did. Like, oh, like, oh man, damage effect after activation, and you can increase that damage by 40%. Like, stasis grenades freeze everything on screen, so kind of like the stasis sword charge, where assuming if you have that one talent, the AoE talent, maxed out and you're doing 5% sword damage to all enemies and can freeze them for 3 seconds. Like, this is how the stasis grenades work. Everything on screen gets frozen, but it doesn't do any damage. Even in the first evolution, stasis grenades never did any damage. They just freeze enemies and allow you to get damage in without having to worry about anything. Now that they're doing damage, like, oh my gosh. I, I, I'm at a loss for words. Like, if you have access to stasis grenades, get this. Earlier players, keep this in mind. You won't get access to stasis grenades till you research it via futures. So if you're not at the collector ship yet, I believe it was collector ship where you get futures. Don't worry about this talent at all. You don't need it because you won't be able to take advantage of it. But if you do have access to stasis grenades, 3 out of 3 this. Like, I don't know how much damage, again, the stasis grenade would do, but I mean, it damages everything on top of freezing them and allowing you to do more damage to everything. Like, I highly recommend this. This would be so useful, so helpful against stuff like the Ultra's side, like the next Arbiter battle that's coming up with those stupid little paws that shoot those laser beams. We can damage them with these stasis grenades while we focus on taking them out. Like, this is just insane. I hope it does a good amount of damage. I hope it is like based off your grenade research damage. But, yeah, I really like that skill, if you can't tell. But again, if you don't have access to stasis grenades, you can forget about that one. Maybe if you have the talent points and the gems, and I mean, this is pretty deep to the tree, and sadly, you need to get the previous skill before you can move on to the next. So maybe put 1 point into this if you can, so you can get access to this skill right here, the reanimator. Like, and I got some issues with this one. But it is nice. You will have the ability to revive an ally if they fall in battle. And on top of that, which they didn't mention in their update details, will also, when you use a medkit, your stamina will also restore as well. So you can run around. Maybe you're this close to getting that sword charge, and you got a good chunk of life left. And there's like a big attack coming. Sit there, take that big attack. You're out of stamina. Take that big attack. Restore your stamina by, what is this, 30, 45%. So you get about half your stamina back. You got your sword charged, and your allies revived. Like, oh my goodness. Like, my only issue with it is, does it trigger? Does it put your medkit on cooldown when your ally revives? Somebody knows. If somebody got this already and knows the answer to this, please let me know down there in the comments, because that would be my big issue. It's like your ally goes down and you trigger, and that medkit triggers, and you're at full health or something, or you're a good amount of health. Like, you don't want to use the medkit at that point, but your ally goes down and your medkit triggers, and that's on cooldown, and you take some major damage right after, you're kind of screwed. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't know exactly how this works. I will find out soon enough. But if anybody in the comments, please let us know. If it triggers as soon as your ally goes down, or does it just trigger whenever Blake would naturally use a medkit? Because if that's the case, that's a lot better because you get to heal up a little bit, you get to bring your partner back to life, and then you get all that stamina. But if this triggers as soon as your ally goes down, then that's just a whole lot of issues. I hope it's what I said before and not the latter, but man, and I can't ignore that stamina. Like I got my endurance maxed out for now because I'm only level 90. It's at 120 because I need that ability to move around. I don't move very fast, but I like that ability to keep running around. So I totally love that it restores stamina too. That's just a very, very useful thing no matter what stage of the game you're in. So, I mean, for this particular talent, if your heroes are garbage anyway, like you haven't really invested that much into them, I wouldn't worry about this too much. I mean, oh my, it's the stamina region that's on this that's killing me. Like, I don't really want to recommend this to people who haven't built up their partners. Because if they're just gonna revive and then go back down anyway, what's the point? But that stamina region is really, really good. It allows you to keep moving, it allows you to keep dodging, it allows you to stay mobile and be a harder target to hit. So, oh man, like like I said, so many issues with this talent. But overall, I do think it's good. This is just one you're gonna have to think of for yourselves. I can't say get it or don't get it. I mean, me personally, just because of the stamina region on this, I do want it. I don't really care so much for the partner revival. Because with where I'm at in the game, my partners that I bring to battles with me don't really die in the first place. I mean, this might be like super helpful in like PvP, but I don't think it will trigger in PvP. Because once your partner goes down, your opponent gets the points, and there's no point in reviving them, unless they change that. Like, if you know the answer to that question too, let us know down there in the comments. But yeah, like that stamina region is really, really hard for me to ignore, just because I like staying mobile. It's why I'm in the chosen armor, because there's 3 rolls on and I can just run for days. I can like clear out half the map by the time I run out of stamina. It's ridiculous how much stamina my Blake has. And now I can just restore it by getting a med kit. Like I like that idea a lot. But I don't really need the partner revival aspect of that, because like I said, the partners I bring don't usually die on me. Like very, very rare instances, and it'll be at like the last possible second that they die. Like the battle's over anyway, and I didn't need them anymore. So now if that also spills over to like the mercenaries that you can bring to battle, or the like the call of the commander ability, where you bring down a unit for 15 seconds upon using your hero's ability. That'd be kind of cool, but in my experience, those guys don't really go down anyway. I don't even know if they can be targeted and die. To be honest, it's been a while since I've used mercenaries, so I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, with this particular skill, like this is the one I have the most issues with. But I'm not saying it's bad. Again, that one you're just gonna have to think of for yourself. Do you need it? Do you don't? Do you don't? What kind of sin is that? I can hear my English teachers yelling at me right now. All right, so biofuel reactor generating more biofuel. This is good. It doesn't say it increases the max, so I don't know if it actually increases the max. Maybe I should have asked the devs a lot more questions about some of these talents. But I mean, this is what, a 40% increase to your biofuel generation, which I believe is at 28 an hour. Let's go over to the lab real quick. I didn't want to do that. Reactor capacity 305, 51 per hour, 40% of 51. That's about 13. It's a little less than 13. So, I mean, I'll bring it up to like 60 an hour. And if it increases the capacity as well, even better. But I do feel like that one in particular, like biofuel is always nice. You can never have enough of it. But at the same time, you can get it from so many places. This is just put a 1 star into it and move on to the next. Now, I know we've already talked about this one a little bit. Again, that early players, early game players, focus on this economic tree. Like I'm telling you, as we go through this, there's just some really amazing stuff, and it allows you to farm some resources that has no cap on it, like the silicone, like metals, like oh my gosh, the you can just stack on it. Like I wish we had this on day one. Like this would have made life so much easier than stacking the silicone. That's gonna be great for once you start getting chips and everything is really start playing with them and all that good stuff. So I mean, early gamers, maybe even some middle gamers, yeah, definitely max this out. If you're a day oneer like me in that end game, I mean, 10 silicone for every cash, not bad. But I mean, especially you get 6 of them, 7 of them, 8 of them on one reset. I mean, that's pretty much 100 silicone, but you don't need it. But yeah, you early gamers, get that, max that out. Like just, and here we go with the silicone again, and metals. Like oh my gosh, 10% bonus for a luck proc on metals and silicone, and then 100% additional resources. So whatever that lucky drop is, let's say it's like 23 metal on top of the metals, on top of the silicone. So 10%, I'm guessing if it's like 23 metal, you'll get like 2 silicone, 2 metals. Once this is maxed out, that makes the most sense to me. Again, should have asked Dev's question. But I imagine that's how this will work. And then you add the additional 100%, so that jumps up to 46. And then from there, you're getting 4 metals and 4 silicone from lucky kills. And like I see several lucky enemies on every map I do. Like there's at least 10 of them everywhere. So just getting those bonus resources from those lucky enemies, especially stuff like metals and silicone. Oh my gosh, I need to just sit down and do a day of co-op because my metal count is so low, and I'm trying to get Hank up and save up and like stack metals for once so I can get some of these S rank heroes up to X rank. So those metals are so valuable, and I'm always in the co-op store, which is why I haven't been working on my partners, because I love the co-op store way too much. You get everything in the co-op store. What currency does the co-op store use? Metals. So yes, definitely 3 out of 3 this. Like doesn't seem like very much, I know, but it stacks, especially if you're killing 7, 8, 9 lucky enemies every single run. This will stack, and you'll have so much of this stuff you won't know what to do with it. All right, so reconnaissance. After winning a terror, Blake receives increased resources. Nice, but again, as an end gamer, not really that valuable. I mean, we just go raid bases and get everything we need from over there. But early to mid gamers, this can be extremely useful. I mean, and extra resources in general are nice. The cool part is the 10% from Rubicons, 10%. in for the gems. So it's currently 30, so we'll get another 3. Not that impressive, but again, it's one of those things that's an extra 9 a day, which is an extra 63 a week, which turns into 260 something in a month. Again, not that much, but this is one of those skills that will eventually pay for itself in time. Um, like if you're in gamer, like the 10% gems, the extra gems is extra gems, But it's really hard to justify making this particular talent priority. I mean, we get gems from everywhere, So I mean, or all the resources that this is offering, we get from otherwhere. We don't have to do those types of stages exactly to get the resources that these offer. So, I mean, if you just really, really want the extra resources, go for it. Otherwise, put 1 star in this and move on. Like seriously, just move on that one, because this one right here, so much better. Now, 10, 20, or 10 crystallite for beating a sabotage. I know it says diversion here, but it's sabotage. And then 10 crystallite for beating a Rubicon. And then 100% bonus. So every sabotage, which is 3 a day, every Rubicon, which is 3 a day, we can get, once this is maxed out, we can get 20 crystallite from that. That's 120 crystallite. That's a weapon upgrade. That's a free weapon upgrade just for playing the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, any extra crystallite is welcome in my book. Like, if you're somebody who has every weapon maxed out, level 120, all your armor is level 120, then you don't really need this. But I can put money on it that not everybody in the game has everything maxed out. There is always something to work on, like the Dragon Sniper Rifle that will be coming with the King of the Hill event. Nobody has gotten that yet, so you're gonna need the Crystallite to level this up through the S and X ranks once you get it there. So just get this Crystallite. It's fun for early gamers. I would still, I'd put 2 stars in this because Crystallite does have a cap. And again, you can't start using that stuff until you get Futurists. You can't even rank up your weapons until you have Futurists. But they're just having the ability to collect this stuff long before you ever need it. It's nice. So I'd put 2 stars in it. I wouldn't go to him, or just maybe even 1 star. Keep it to the divergence, because again, Crystallite does have a cap like every other resource. So I mean, you don't want to end up wasting Crystallite, so to speak. So maybe 1 star, maybe 2. It just depends on how good you are with your resource management. Everybody else, Crystallite is king, or Crystallite is queen. Gems is king, Crystallite is queen. Get this, just 3 out of 3 it. And then this one, like, this is probably the best talent in the game. I know, it doesn't do any damage. Doesn't add any special effects. Remember how I said we were done with the math? No, we are not done with the math. This is an 18% construction speed up to everything in the workshop. So once you have the chrono boost, which already cuts everything in half, 50%, you slap another 18% on that, that's 70%. For the most part, you might as well round it up to 70%. Oh my gosh, Crystallite base time to make is 12 hours. 70%, we can call that 2/3. Cut that by 2/3. What is 1/3 of 12? 4. 4-hour crystal light production with this. Players have been screaming for crystal light, faster crystal light production, ways to get more crystal light, everything. Here it is, 4-hour crystal light production. I don't care, best talent in the game. Get this 3 out of 3. I don't care where you're at in the game, even if you're in early game. This will cut all your grenade production and medikit production, all that. Tremendously. Of course, longer the times, the bigger the effect, because these are percentage-based values, and bigger numbers, get affected more than little numbers. But like, this is so valuable. It allows you to produce more stuff out of your workshop. And yeah, it might mean that your workshop needs a little more management, but like Ink was talking about, like I brought up with the earlier talent, we're always capped on the magnetite resources. This will help you clear out your magnetite and your steel reserves for crystallite even faster. You don't have to sit there and wait that 6 hours anymore to clear it out. You only gotta wait 4, and then the saving 2 hours. I mean, 6 times a day. I mean, 4 goes into 24. 6. You can make crystallite 6 times a day, 6 batches of crystallite a day if you're really on top of things and staying up for 24 hours like a maniac. But I mean, this is like, whew, oh my goodness, like this, I love this. I love this so much, and I can't wait to get my hands on this. Like, this is going to help you level up your S and X rank gear so much faster than we have in the past. Like I said, players have been complaining about it since Crystallite has introduced. We need more Crystallite. We need to make Crystallite production faster. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. Get this 3 out of 3. I don't care where you're at in the game. 3 out of 3 this. All right. So, that's it for the talents. Now, I don't know what I said in the first part because I'm recording this before for that. So I don't know if I brought this up or not. We will have a max of 112 talents. It only takes 18 talents to max one of these out. So, I mean, and the 3,600 gems, which still all that stuff is math. I'll save that for the early part. But you will have more than enough talent points to max out every single one of these. You really will. The caveat to that is we will still have talent points left over, like enough to max these out again, all 3 trees again, and then still have some left over, which is crazy. So that just leaves me to believe that there will be more talents in the future. Maybe talent tree extensions. Maybe, they'll upgrade the talent trees and they'll just charge us 400, 500, 600 gems. I don't know what the future of talents holds. All I know is once it's all said and done, we should have, 68 left over? 68 talent points left over once all this is done. Like I said, it only takes 54 to max out the 3 trees that we have right now. So, if you want to be cautious with this, definitely 3 out of the 3 the skills you find most interesting and most helpful to you. But I mean, stuff like this, just put 1 star on it so you can move on, because we don't know what the future holds, when it comes to the talents. And they can come out with some very interesting stuff that you'll want, but you went ahead and maxed out everything here, and you're just like, oh, now I don't have enough talent points for this. So I don't want you guys to be in that position, and hopefully if they do add more talents, they will make some adjustments. I think 12 levels for every single one of these, for every single ability level, is a bit of an odd number. It just doesn't match up with anything. Like, even 12 levels itself with the max levels that we have, it leaves it in a decimal point. So maybe we will get more abilities in the future for more talent points, or maybe they'll make a talent point adjustment, or something like I don't know, but I am like very wary of maxing some of these out, such as this one and this one. Although I do need that silicone because I'm not making it, so if I get some extra silicone, I'm good. But I mean, I'll get it from that. I love killing lucky enemies, but yeah, I don't know what the future holds, so it might be a good idea to not max out everything. Like I'm definitely maxed out everything on sword. Like everything on sword is getting maxed out for me. But as for the other two trees, you know, I'm not going to max out everything just because I don't know what's gonna come in the future. And I know I sound like a broken record right now, but I mean, and it might be a good idea for you guys to hold on to some of these talent points. Because, like I said, we'll still have enough to max out 3 trees, but who knows how much more they're going to add. Or if it gets reworked and suddenly you don't have enough talent points. You know what I'm saying? There's just any number of things that can happen. Hopefully good things, but some bad things can happen too. And I feel like the devs sometimes don't know what they want to do with this game. So, so yeah, don't max out everything. Just max out the stuff that you really, really, really want. I gave you my recommendations here in this video. So, yeah, wow, brain fart. Yeah, I gave you my recommendations in this video, but I don't think you should max out everything. And don't worry about it maxing out everything right away. I mean, like I said, we got everything more than enough. Just play the game. You'll get the gems eventually to do everything. You don't have to buy the gems. Don't go out and buy gems so you can get these. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't do that. Although I'm going to do that as soon as the next $20 for 6,500 gems offer comes up. But don't. It's not necessary for you to do that. Grind, just play the game daily. Get your 3 Rubicons daily. And you do that, buy the 10 gems from the co-op store. And if you're fighting altars and getting at least 12 plates, go get the 15 gems from the clan shop. And in about a month, you can max out one of these trees. As long as you have the talent points to do it. Now, if your like ability levels are really, really low, I'd start grinding out on some mastery points. Like go over to the PvP, do your sabotages on hard. You know, just open as many boxes as you possibly can to try to get some of these mastery points. Work on your intelligence. Oh my goodness. Work on your intelligence. Get the mastery points here. So that you do have the talent points to get the talents that you want once you have the gems to get them. Yeah, man, why they make these things cost gems? I don't know. But hopefully that changes in the future too. We don't know. But I'm ranting now, so I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. Thank you all for watching. Let me know down there in the comments what you think of the talents, which ones you think are the best, how wrong I am, how right I am, all that good stuff. I hope you all have an awesome, awesome day, and I'll see you later, gamers.